The Salem witch trials were an infamous series of trials highlighting the horrific cruelty and stress of the 1690s. At the time, witch hunts were common since the 1400s, originating from Denmark and Germany before spreading across Europe and eventually to the 13 colonies. No witches were actually burned in Salem, though they were burned in Europe. Many people at the time were very religious and cruel, so oftentimes a wild accusation would occur, and the entire town would follow suit against the victim. This would occur so often in Germany that they built specific buildings for it. Sadly enough, witch hunts were much more common than we realize. Luckily, Salem never went to this level of hysteria. Eventually, the world came to a decline in witch hunts, and many of them became rare in the 1700s. Salem was only one of the many examples of witch hunts. During 1692, the Massachusetts Bay Colony and other southern colonies began to get a rush of immigrants from King William's War. It brought economic pressure to the villages in the area. People began to act displeased. Surrounding colonies began to have witch trials, which caused suspicions to occur in Salem Village. Samuel Parris was a reverend in Salem Village, and he lived with his two daughters, Elizabeth and Abigail. He also owned a Caribbean slave named Tituba, who was known for talking to the girls about magic and voodoo. Ergot is a type of fungus that can be found in grain. If eaten, it can cause hallucinations and fidgeting. So, on January of 1692, the girls began to experience such symptoms in forms of fits. The local doctor was not aware of ergot due to the lack of modern knowledge, and was only able to diagnose the supernatural. The local magistrates reacted accordingly, pressuring the girls to blame three women as witches: Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and Tituba. After that, a snowball effect took place, and other girls around the same age had also began to experience the same types of fits. This trend caught on quickly, and the craze began raising concerns, causing the village magistrates to bring about an interrogation against the women on March 1st of 1692. Sarah Good and Osborne denied hurting the children and their connections to it, but Tituba confessed a different story, consisting of various black animals communicating to her and forcing her to hurt the girls. Their efforts to remain innocent failed, and all three women were jailed. Paranoia rose as there were accusations against loyal church members Rebecca Nurse and Martha Corey, who were both found guilty and jailed with the others. Suspicions rose quickly due to their good reputation not protecting them from punishment. Things began to get out of hand, such as accusing Sarah Good's 4-year-old daughter of witchcraft. On May 27th, a court of oyer and terminer was established by the governor. Shortly after, the court was to decide the fate of Bridget Bishop. Her arguments to stay alive was not enough, and the first execution of many took place. Cotton Mather, a minister in Salem, began to request that spectral evidence not be allowed, as that was how most executions were supported. His request was ignored, and it continued on for months on end until there were 20 or more casualties. Finally, in the year of 1693, things were beginning to decline. Governor William Phipps listened to Mather and changed the court of oyer to not allow visions or dreams to be used as evidence, and pardoned the various innocent people in jail. However, the damage was already done, and several accusers and judges took weeks to restore their names and become tolerated again. Luckily, the Western world and other developed countries have had no significant witch conflicts in the 21st century. However, places in Africa and the Middle East still have witch hunts and executions over supposed practice of magic. This is because of how their religion is practiced and other culture developed in those places. Spectral evidence, superstition, and other odd explanations have caused the death of those accused, just like in the 1600s.